Hi friends, this is Abhishek. I'm discussing about probability distribution and its types and functions. So let us discuss about what we will learn in this concept. Probability distribution, discrete probability distribution, continuous probability distribution, multivariate probability distribution and empirical probability distribution. First let us discuss about probability distribution. Probability distribution is a statistical concept that describes the likelihood of various outcomes or events in a particular random experiment. In simpler terms, it tells us how probable it is for different values or events to occur. There are several types of distributions, each with its own characteristics and applications, such as discrete probability distribution, continuous probability distribution, multivariate probability distribution, empirical probability distribution. These are the four types of probability distributions. Now let us go in briefly about what is discrete probability distribution. Discrete probability distribution is a type of distribution deals with discrete random variables where the possible outcomes are distinct and separate. The probability is assigned to individual values. Example of discrete probability distributions include Bernoulli's distribution and binomial distribution and the Poisson distribution. So let's discuss about what are these examples. First, let's move on to Bernoulli's distribution. A coin toss can be modeled using a Bernoulli's distribution. Here, the random variable can take two possible outcomes, heads and tails. Heads successfully typically represented by 1 with probability p, and tails failure typically represented by 0 with probability 1 minus p. Bernoulli's distribution is used for binary outcomes. So this is about Bernoulli's distribution. Next we move on to binomial distribution. Binomial distributions are mostly used in multiple independent binary outcomes. Suppose we flip a coin 10 times and want to know the probability of getting exactly 3 heads. The number of heads in multiple independent coin flips can be modeled using binomial distribution. Then we move on to Poisson distribution. Consider a call center and you want to know the probability of receiving 5 customer calls in 1 minute. Given that call arrives at an average rate of 3 calls per minute, the Poisson distribution can be used to model such counting events. Poisson distributions used for counting events in fixed intervals. Next, continuous probability distribution. These continuous probability distributions are used when dealing with continuous random variables, where the possible outcomes form an entire range of real numbers. Unlike discrete distributions, continuous distributions deal with probabilities over intervals other than specific values. Examples include normal distribution, exponential distribution, and uniform distributions. Next, we deeply discuss about what are the examples of continuous probability distributions. First one is normal distribution. This is also called as Gaussian distribution. Heights of adult male in a population often follow a bell-shaped curve described by the normal distribution. Many natural phenomena and measurement errors also exhibit this distribution. Normal distribution is often used in modeling real-world phenomena. Next, let us discuss about exponential distribution. The time between two consecutive arrivals of customers at a store, assuming customers arrive at a constant rate, can be modeled using an exponential distribution used for modeling time between events in a Poisson process. Uniform distribution. Suppose we want to model the random number generated by rolling a pair six-sided die. Each outcome 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 5 or 6 has an equal probability of 1 by 6, making it a uniform distribution where all outcomes in an interval are equally likely. This is about uniform distribution. Then we move on to third types, multivariate probability distribution. In many cases, there are multiple random variables involved in an experiment, and their joint probabilities are modeled using multivariate probability distributions. Examples include the multinomial distribution and the multivariate normal distribution. Multinomial distribution. Imagine. So let's discuss about what is multinomial distribution. Multinomial distribution is what we will imagine in a survey where respondents can choose between several options. Example, red, blue, green or yellow. The number of respondents choosing each color can be modeled using the multinomial distribution. And another example of multivariate probability distribution is multivariate normal distribution. In finance, the joint distribution of multiple stock prices can be approximated using a multivariate normal distribution, assuming the returns of individual stocks follow a normal distribution. At last, we will discuss about empirical probability distribution. This type of distribution is based on observed data rather than the theoretical models. It is like a practical values. It involves estimating probabilities from the frequencies of events in a sample dataset. Empirical distributions are often used when it is challenging to derive theoretical distributions. So let's have a look into empirical distribution. Suppose we have a database set of the number of goals scored by a soccer team in each match over the past season. We can estimate the probability of scoring a specific number of goals, example 0, 1 or 2, etc. based on the frequencies observed in the data. This estimation would result in an empirical probability distribution for the number of goals scored. So here is what we learned about the probability distribution. Conclusion. Probability distributions play a crucial role in statistics, data analysis, and various scientific disciplines. They help us understand the inherent uncertainty in data and making informed decisions based on probabilities of different outcomes. Each type of probability distribution serves specific purpose depending on the nature of the data and the problem being addressed. So this is what we learned about probability distributions and its types and the four different types with the examples and the conclusion. Thank you for watching this video.